Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm Nicole, and this is Letting It Be So. It is Friday and a Fridaysews catch up for this video. I've got a couple of finished makes where I've been testing out a pattern that's not really my style, but I've been trying to make it work. And I've also got a little bit of a fabric haul from a recent purchase, maybe a tiny bit of a knitting update as well, and yeah, just a general overall catch up because it's been a few weeks since I've been able to have content for a Fridaysews. So thank you very much for joining me. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the channel to help the YouTube algorithm, share it amongst the sewing community. But yeah, we will get started. In terms of what I'm wearing a Tilly and the Buttons Nell blouse, which is very much too big for me. But the reason I'm wearing this is because I am just working from home today, so I'm filming this on my lunch break. It is very muggy and humid and gross in the UK today. It's about 28 degrees in my flat, so having something that is loose is not a bad thing. If I was to go out in the human world, I would not be wearing this because, like I say, it's very loose. Like, there's a lot of room. The instant I bend over, everything is on display. So yeah, but I'll just hover up a bit so you can see. So yeah, this is a Nell blouse, and I really like it. I did the bubble sleeve, which I really like, but for whatever reason, when I made this pattern first time, I decided to cut out a size bigger than my usual Tilly and the Button size, and I don't know why I did that. Past Nicole, I don't know what past Nicole was thinking then. But yeah, I have since remade this pattern as a dress in a smaller size, and it's fine. So I definitely do need to make another of these blouses with the bubbly sleeve. Yeah, but it will do for today as a something that is loose in a setting where I am not at risk of exposing myself to anyone except the empty flat. So that's why I'm wearing it. But enough about what I'm wearing today. Let's catch up on what I've been sewing recently. So I wanted to test out a pattern for a summer top. Now, I did make a whole video about my quest for the ultimate summer top pattern because I'm a little bit picky. I also am not typically comfortable showing a lot of skin. That's just a personal preference. But yeah, I have quite a few things on my list in terms of what I like in a summer top. And in the June Lamazi Makers Club bag, along with their fabric, they included the pattern for the Uzma top, which is a fibre mood pattern, which is a very simple, I'll put a line drawing picture in so you can see what I mean, but it is a very simple sleeveless, I'd say strappy, but the straps are really wide, but it's that kind of top, which on the face of it, and if you watch that video about my needs from a summer top, it actually has a couple of things that I really don't like, which is that it has no shaping, so it is just like cut straight. There's no darts or any other things in the pattern, and it's also really cropped. So yeah, it's got a few things, against it in terms of my personal preference. But obviously one of those, the length, it being cropped, that's pretty easy to fix. So you can just lengthen it. So yeah, I wanted to give it a try, and I wanted to do like a wearable toile because I really loved the fabric that came in the bag. The Visco's linen Sea Life print, that's one of their own ones. So I really didn't want to, do it in that fabric and then risk not liking the finished thing. So I wanted to make a wearable toile. So I chose 1 meter length of fabric out of my stash that I've been kicking around as a Visco's twill, I think, that was in a So Hayley Jane box from a long time ago. And I made it up. So here we are. Now, if you looked at the line drawing, you might be looking at this and going, that doesn't look like the line drawing, Nicole, and you'd be right. And via the magic of editing, I'm going to put in some footage here that will explain how I got from how the pattern is drafted to what I'm holding up for you now. So editing Nicole will do her magic here, and you'll learn what my feelings were about the top as originally drafted when I put it together and finished it, and what I decided to do to make it a bit more me and meet my preferences for a summer top, and address some of the fitting issues as well. Okay, so I have popped on my Uzma top, which is the pattern that came in the June Damacy Makers Club bag. It's a fibre mood pattern. It's a very basic square neck top, quite oversized in its fit, and also quite cropped in the original pattern as well. And if you watched my video about summer tops, I said that one thing that I really don't like is things being cropped, because I just don't want this part of my body on show. Also, it's summer. It's, any part of your skin that's showing means you've got to put sun cream on there, and remember to. So that's another reason. So this is a wearable twill that I've made in, it's just some viscose twill that I had, I think I got it in a So Hayley Jane, a So Hayley Jane subscription box a long time ago, which I had just a metre of to test it out. So the first thing that you'll notice is that this is not cropped, and that is because I added 3 inches to the pattern pieces for the front and back. So you can see, it's kind of high hip, I would call this, and I would call that a good length for this kind of top. So it's fine, if I'm just wearing, I've just got some ready to wear elastic shorts on here, so it's sitting in a nice place there. If I wanted to tuck it in, this is awkward to do with one hand, if I wanted to tuck it in, that still looks good. I've got a little bit of billowy bit there, and I don't feel if I reach my arm up, it's doing okay, and you're not sort of then flashing if you do that. So I think it's a good length, so I'm happy with the length. So let's untuck this. So there is technically a front and a back to this. I don't think there is, in the sense that there's no bust darts or anything like that, so I don't think it matters which way you wear it. I have put it on both ways, and this is the way that I think I like it best, which is the back, which I think is meant to, I think this is meant to be the back because it's a little bit higher, maybe only by a centimetre or so. It's not an enormous difference, but I think I like it this way. So what do we think about the fit? If I come a little bit closer, I think you can see here that we don't have to do a lot, do we, before that's just fallen right off my shoulder, and I'm just standing here indoors. So it's the straps are basically too far over here. So but I think in terms of the size, the side seams, I think that's pretty good in terms of thinking about this as a summer top. It's meant to be a little bit oversized, it's not meant to be super fitted, and you want that little bit of wiggle room. So I think the problem is that the straps are in the wrong place rather than it's overall too big. So what do I think I can do about this? I think obviously I don't mind this fabric. It's not, I wouldn't call this my colour, but I'm actually not mad now I've got it on. So in order to make this wearable and not just me being it's just falling off of me, I think what I would like to do, because the back, now hopefully the facing isn't, so I think the back fits really nicely, so I don't want to change the back. So I think what I would do is I need to take some out the front, just get my hair out of the way. So I think, you know, I can take a reasonable pinch out of the front, right? And then that moves the straps over just a little bit, like not loads, but it just pulls that in. But it means that I still keep the fit on the side seams, like it's not doing too much. That's quite a ways. That's probably about 2 inches out of the front there. And I think probably what would look nicest is like kind of doing 2 individual ones, so kind of having 2, you know, you get the idea. I'll probably like pin and show you what I mean. But yeah, I'm going to take some out of the front by doing a dart effectively. The other thing that I was thinking of doing is gathering in the sleeves a bit, because I think that will help with the fact that they're falling off. Like, I quite like the wide straps, but if they're just gonna fall off, then, you know, I'm willing to compromise. So what I thought was, if I made a little, I don't know what you'd call it, like a little tube of fabric to like wrap around. I don't know if that kind of thing has a name, but yeah, just a little wraparound that then gathers the sleeve in a little bit. Then hopefully it might sit a little bit better on my shoulders, and not be so keen to fall off. But let me pin this, because I'm already like multitasking by holding this microphone. And yeah, then I'll show you a bit more what I mean about adjustments. Okay, I've done my little bit of pinning. I've done it with those like wonder clips rather than pins, because this twill, it has there are some like pulls in it where I've been sewing, so I didn't want to add any more, so I have used these wonder clips. But yeah, I've done it so like split the, and I've done it very roughly as well, and it's kind of pulling apart. But yeah, I've taken, I can say I think it's about 2 inches that I would want to take out of the front neckline, I guess. So I split it between 2 dart pleats, whatever you'd want to call them. Obviously, I think if I made this again, I would adjust the pant pieces and I would make it pleats. But yeah, that's how I would do it. Obviously, I'm just saying this as someone who is absolutely not an expert in fitting. This is just how I would do it. Depending on, and this is again to like make this top that's already finished wearable without going in and doing lots of surgery and faffing around. Like, obviously, if you are adjusting pattern pieces, you might do something different. You know, this is just me and what I've decided to do. Other options, very valid. But also what I've done is I just grabbed a little bit of the leftovers and made a little tube. I am now wondering whether I might do like long, I don't know why am I holding the microphone to my shoulder like the shoulder is going to tell you what's happening. Don't know. But yeah, hopefully you can see I've just tied a little tube of fabric around the top of the thing. Yeah, now I've done that, I'm wondering whether I want to do like longer ones. She says whether she has enough fabric is another matter. And have like a proper little bow. That might be quite cute. But yeah, I think it's just pulling in the sleeve a little bit again, in combination with the taking the the excess out of the front that moves it over. But then obviously the advantage of doing this is that I'm not losing anything from the rest of it, because, you know, this has a reasonable amount of movement, and it's like not tight on my hips, but it's also not crazy loose either. If I just took a whole, if I took 2 inches out of the whole thing, you can see suddenly it's got like really tight down the bottom, which is not what I want. And yeah, I think that the silhouette I like better. And obviously, like I say, as was the sleeves were, yeah, kind of falling off, which is gonna just be annoying. So that is the plan. Now I've spoken to you, I do think maybe I want to do longer ties, but yeah, I just thought that would be interesting to show you what I'm planning to make this wearable. And yeah, like I say, I think I could adjust the pattern pieces. I do actually quite like there being a little pleat in the front. So I think I would, if I was making this again, I would leave the pleats, like I would leave these in so I could make them pleats. But I would adjust the facing so I could take like 2 inches out of the facing, that part of it, to so that the facing isn't being pleated. So obviously there's a facing here. So yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm planning to do to make this wearable toile wearable. Hello, I am back to show you the changes that I have made to this Uzma top to make it wearable, a wearable toile, not necessarily the kind of finish that you would want for a proper finished garment, but enough to make it wearable. So, a bit wonky here. So, first thing I will show you is the front neckline. I have actually put it on the right way around again after saying that I preferred it back to front. So this is with the neckline, the lowest neckline. Like I said, there is maybe a centimetre difference between the front and the back, if that. And you can see that that inch that I had to take out, I have divided between 2 pleats. So I've got like a little tuck here. I don't know why, like they literally are the same size and the same length, but for some reason this one looks different, but I haven't pressed it yet. I've just sewn it and put it on. So yeah, so I have, just on a little tuck, which has brought the top part in whilst not losing any of the fullness here. And to help with the main issue is that it's slightly too big at the top, and the sleeves were, sleeves, straps, they're not really those sleeves, the straps. So the straps were falling off. And then, as I was saying, and then like changed my mind while I was chatting, I decided that I would try and gather the sleeves in a little bit by, putting these little ties on. So I was going to make just like a little tube to wrap around it to pinch it in, but I thought longer bows might look cute, and I think I'm reasonably happy with it. I have, again, I feel like I'm like, hey strap, tell everyone what I did. You can tell I'm still learning how to use a microphone at my age of 40. So I just made 2 ties, like they're literally enough of as much of the width as I had left of the fabric, because I didn't have a huge amount. I only had 1 meter, and obviously I lengthened this top compared to what the pattern says. But yeah, and they're aim for them to be about 1 inch wide. And yeah, I have sewn them to the underneath of the strap, so I probably can't show you very easily. Well, you can just about see there. So I have like sewn them on, rather than ending up with like 2 little ties like floating around when this goes in the wash. So yeah, there is that. But I think it looks kind of cute. I do think that if I make this pattern again, which I'm not 100% sure, but I'm reasonably happy with how it fits now. But I think what I would do is, you can see where this bit is kind of gaping a bit. I think I would just slim down the strap a little bit, as well as doing the proper pattern adjustment, so that I can have this as a proper thing without also having to have this situation where I've got the facing pleated as well. I'll probably just hand stitch those bits down. They don't seem to be poking out, to be fair, because it is now like sort of quite flat across my front compared to it was. But yeah, I think, as well as keeping the bow, I think I will just slim down the strap. Like, it probably can go to, it can go to about there, right? And it's, you know, it's still covering my bra, not flashing my bra to anyone. And again, that's going to help the strap be, you can now see like where I've done this and move this across compared to like, you know, the edge of the strap was like here, and that's why it was just falling straight off of my shoulder. It's now just moved that much inwards, so it's not doing that anymore. So yeah, and I don't know if I can easily show you the back. I'm just going to turn around and keep my hair out of the way and hope that you can see the back. Let's just check that my facing is under. Yeah, I think it is. I'm just going to turn around. What's going on in my back is none of my business, but hopefully you can see that even though I have like done this to the front, I don't really want to do the same to the back. I think hopefully you'll agree that the back is pretty good fitting wise. I have no idea what you just saw then. I will look later when I'm editing. But yeah, the back to me feels, you know, it doesn't feel like it's gaping. I do have like, you know, I'm a hunch lady, you know, I work at a desk at a computer, so I do not have the greatest posture. I do have like the forward shoulders, so it kind of makes sense that the back is okay, but the front, where I do not have no boobies, is the bit that's struggling. And I do have these like, yeah, I think I have quite narrow shoulders in comparison to everything else. So that also is always an issue that I have for things fitting, particularly when they're like woven tops like this. So I'm going to stand back a little bit so you can get like a bit of a better thing. But yeah, I'm happy with how this fits now. And yeah, I'm not mad at it as a summer top. And yeah, I think tucked in, I think I like it better tucked in. Tucking in one hand, yeah. Yeah, I think I like it better tucked in. I think that looks cute. And yeah, this is my Uzma top. Hope this was interesting. Like I say, these are just some like quick and dirty adjustments that I've made to something that I made as a wearable toile that I am not I'm not crazy about enough to go in and unpick the sewing. This is also a viscose twill and it has frayed quite a lot, so I would, even if I was more concerned about this being a wearable garment, I don't think I would go in because yeah, it's frayed a lot. I made the mistake of I trimmed the edges of the ties before I turned them the way out with pinking shears, and that was a big mistake because now they're a little teeny, like less than a centimetre bits of twill fluff everywhere. So I think I got enough of it off of my front, but yeah, don't do that. So yeah, like I say, this is just to make an item that I have finished wearable. Completely different approach if you were making adjustments to the pattern pieces to remake the thing, make it better. So like I say, I would leave the front as is in the pattern piece, but I would adjust the facing piece so that there's no pleating in the facing. And yeah, I think I will take, yeah, probably maybe a centimetre. It's not a huge amount off of the armhole edge of the straps to make them a little bit thinner. But yeah, that's the Uzma top. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, I hope that was interesting. I'm sorry it's filmed in like the other orientation. That was just the easiest way that I could like get all of me in frame when I was filming that bit. But yeah, apologies for like the switching between landscape and portrait filming modes. But yeah, this is what I ended up with. So you can see as I was chatting about the, oh, this is a little bit tricky. The pleats that I ended up doing, obviously they are just like sewn little pleats, you know, flapping about. They don't tend to move around too much once you've got the thing on, so that's fine. And yeah, then I added these tie details to the top of the sleeves, I want to do this one so you can see. So, oh, it's a bit creased up, but you can see if I hold up the underneath that I have. Oh, can you see? You can just about see that. Yeah, that I've sewn it just along the middle. Effectively, I was like stitching in the ditch on the shoulder seam itself to attach the tie, so it's not gonna fall off. It's not gonna go for walkies in the wash or one thing or another. So yeah, that's what I decided to do. But yeah, it's gonna be wearable. I think I need to properly wear it just to get a sense of whether I do reach for it. Like I say, it's not especially my colours. Like I said, it did come from a subscription box, so I didn't choose the fabric. But I'm not super mad at how it looks on me. It's just not a colour I gravitate to. But yeah, I am happy with the length. I probably could go a bit shorter. And maybe I was, 3 inches was quite a lot, but it did look very cropped. But yeah, I think overall I've made it wearable. So then put that down to one side. So obviously I chatted in the little clip that you just saw about what I did and what I wanted to change. So then I decided I was going to make another one. I had some leftover fabric for making my wrap skirt that I shared in my finished makes video last time, and I wanted to make a little top to go with it to sort of wear as like a cord, so it looks like a dress but it isn't. So I thought this would be good for that. So the modifications that I made was to take the amount out of the so I marked in the pleats as actual pleats on my pattern, so like 2 half-inch pleats to get you the 2 inches out of the front neckline. And then I adjusted the facing piece for the front, so I took just 2 inches out of the middle of that, so that there was no pleating in the facing. The pleating is just in the front, the actual like main front piece. And then I took a little bit out of the straps to kind of effectively move them over, because they are quite wide. It's a bit hard. You can't really move them over as easy as if they were, say, like a strap that you sewed on, or at least maybe some people can. I couldn't, because I in no way claim to be an expert at pattern drafting or hacking or anything like that. So this was just what made sense to me to try and do to, combat the issue that the straps were a little bit falling off my shoulders, but with sizing down not really being an option. And so this is what I have ended up with. Oh, that is the back. So yeah, you can see now that I've got the tucks in the front. But if I turn it around, you can see that my facing is flat, so they're not visible there. So it is just pleating in the front to give it a little bit of detail. And yeah, the straps, I basically took from like the notch. There's like an armhole notch about here, so I basically curved it in. I only took like 1 centimetre off. I didn't take loads. I probably still could take a bit more, but I think it's still really not addressing the issue that probably the straps need to be in a different place for me as someone with quite narrow but rounded shoulders. And the back is just plain. I didn't do any adjustments to the back other than carrying on the sleeve, the strap adjustment. And yeah, again, I actually added on to the pattern piece this time rather than just I did it on the fabric the original time when I lengthened it, but I just did it on the pattern piece. So now it is 3 inches longer than it was drafted. But you know, pretty simple, and you know, that's kind of what you want. Obviously it's a very obviously this fabric is super, you know, busy and patterned and very pretty, so you don't necessarily want a top that's super detailed, because that detail is just going to get lost. You'll notice I haven't put the ties on this one. I do have them, they are here, but with the slimming down, I've got some pictures of me wearing this as the cord, like with my skirt. So you'll see what I mean. I'm not 100% decided on whether I want to keep the ties or whether I just want to have the plain straps for wearing it as a cord. So, you know, they're there if I want them, but yeah, I'm probably not going to attach them. But yeah, so that is Uzma number 2. I will say, I think, you know, I'm happy with where I've got to on this. I don't necessarily know that I will make it again. So I think for the fabric that the pattern came with, I will pick a different top. Because I think whilst adding the pleats in there does give it a little bit of something in the front, it is still, yeah, that kind of boxy style, and personal preference again. That's just not me. I like things with a little bit of detail, and preferably that go in at the waist. So particularly when it comes to this style of top. So yeah, the quest for the perfect summer top does continue, but I'm pleased with where I've got to, and yeah, I will pop in the pictures of me wearing this and the other one, and also yeah, this with the wrap skirt as a cord, so you can see the finished look. But yeah, that is my work on the Uzma top. It is warm. Now I feel like I look very shiny on camera, so apologies, but yeah, like I say, it's a bit sticky. But moving on, I'll give you a knitting update because the knitting is closer. So if you remember from a few Friday sews ago, I had started knitting the Stego Sweater, which is a pattern by Hunt Hand Knits, in some very out there bright pink yarn, which has this very cool colourwork motif of Stegosaurus dinosaurs and footprints and a few other bits and bobs. And let's just move this so that I don't lose stitches when I show you. But this is where I am up to. God, this is really not the thing I want to be picking up in 28-degree heat, but I finished the entire bodice. So if I hold it up, you'll see, oh, it's flapping up. But I have finished the entire body of the jumper, hoping you can see that. And I have also just the other evening finished the first sleeve, which kind of looks a bit of an odd shape, but I think that's just because obviously when you knit colour work, 2 colours, it affects your tension a little bit. So I think when I block this, it's gonna look less weird. But yeah, I've just finished the cuff, so I've just got to do the there's like a sewn bind off that you do, which is a bit of a faff, but I did it on the bottom of the hem and it looks really nice, so I will continue to do it. But yeah, so there's the cuff. It's got another little bit of colour work on it, and yeah, just got to finish that off. And then I'll have to join on sleeve oven too. But we're making good progress. Like, it hasn't taken me that long to knit this sleeve, because obviously you're decreasing, so you're getting like smaller and smaller as you go. So yeah, definitely I think going to be finished before it is cool enough to wear a DK weight jumper. But yeah, super happy with the progress, and yeah, already thinking about what my next colour work project is going to be, as this one is nearly finished, so more to follow on that. But yeah, Stego Sweater going strong, one more sleeve to go. And then just to finish things off, I do have a little bit of fabric shopping to share with you. So Jenny Stitches had their summer sale on. They went for their little holiday and had a sale, and then everything was sent out when they got back from their holiday. So I made a few purchases from that. So I'll just show you what they were. So obviously, last time when I was back for Fridaysews, I was telling you I was, fully invested in watching the Women's Euros, which I don't think I've filmed since the final. But yeah, England only won the final again, so they kept their title as European champions, which is very exciting. Even though it did go to a penalty shootout, which is very stressful. And apologies to the neighbours for the shouting and screaming that happened in here on that evening. But yeah, Jenny had this cotton, it's just a quilting cotton fabric, which is called Lionesses, with this cute print of female football players on. And I thought that might be nice as like a bag lining. I'm enjoying my bag making, even though I haven't made one for a bit. But yeah, I couldn't resist picking it up as a tribute to the Lionesses' success. So that's that one. And then I picked up some French terry that it was listed as like having a fault, but I can't see it. So, I'll just have to pay attention when I am cutting out, just to make sure that it's not my eyes and I haven't missed something. But it's this bright blue. It's coming up a bit faded on the camera, but it's like bright blue and it's like a very pale pink. And it's got little mountains with small little pterodactyls flying. But I really like this kind of like vibrant, I really like this kind of vibrant blue. And I enjoyed the stripes. I thought that might be quite fun to play around with for a sweatshirt. So, it'll probably end up being one of my tried and tested sweatshirt patterns. So a Linden or a Jarrah. But yeah, I picked up a meter of that. And then the final thing I picked up was some denim. So this is, I think it's like 11 ounce denim. I got 2 meters because I would really like to make a denim jacket, because I don't have one. I have like a shop bought, like it's a denim shirt, but it's like I have worn it over like summer dresses as a jacket, but it's a bit thinner than this. So this is like a nice weight. It's not a stretch denim. It's I was going to say fixed denim, but I don't think that's right. Just a normal denim without stretch, and it's like a pale wash. I consider this to be like summer denim, so I may well not make this up straight away. I'll see. I have some ideas about making a fun denim jacket with like some of the pieces being not denim, but I haven't like fully planned it out in my head, so I'm not going to say any more. But yeah, I've picked up this. So yeah, it's probably not for straight away, because we're coming to the end. We're coming to, we're in, almost in the middle of August now. So yeah, I always feel like just denim jackets are like a spring summer thing. So especially as this is, what I would call like a summer denim color. So yeah, I think this is going to be, I'll pre-wash it and everything, and then I'll put it in my stash ready for, the early spring to make it. And to let my idea percolate a bit more as to how I want a fun denim jacket to look. So yeah, was happy to pick up that. All right, that's all I have in terms of sewing and crafty creative content. In terms of other stuff, what's been happening since my last Fridaysews? What have I been doing? Apart from being very warm. I went to the Formula E the other weekend. It was their last race weekend. So Formula E is racing with electric cars, full size, not like, not like remote control ones. They have a human person in them and everything. And been a couple of times. It's at the Excel Centre, and so it's kind of unique in a racetrack setting because the cars go both inside and outside. And the Excel Centre is just like a big conference centre type place. It's kind of like a bit in the middle, and then big, giant exhibition hall style space either side. So it's pretty impressive that in the main bit they managed to get like a racetrack, pits, all of that jazz. And I went with my mum and my brother, and we literally like walked in, went through the security check, walked in, and were just sort of taking stock of where I wanted to go. And a lady suddenly appeared in front of me and said, "Would you like to come to the pit lane for a meet and greet?" And held out a pass to me, on like a lanyard, and I obviously said, "Yes, please." And then sort of grabbed my mum and my brother and said, this is who I'm with. And she was like, "Okay." So yeah, she handed us all these pit lane passes, said, "Follow me," and off we went. So we'd been planning to just maybe go and get a cup of tea and have a wander and see what all of the like exhibition stuff was in there. And instead we headed off to the pit lane. So obviously they were busy working away on the cars, get everything set up ahead of qualifying. And we went, it was a meet and greet for the Maserati team. So we went in their little pit box, and their two drivers came out to have a chat with us. They posed for photos. They were both very, very lovely, answering all of our, average Joe questions about stuff. So it was really nice that they took the time, because it was, like I say, at this point there was maybe like 40 minutes to go until qualifying. So they could have plenty of other more better things to do in terms of preparing for the qualifying than chatting to us. But they were super lovely. So I've got some photos of myself and my mum with them. And then we were allowed to just have a little wander around the rest of the pit lane before they were obviously then clearing it out because qualifying was fast approaching. That was very unexpected. And then we spent the rest of the day watching the qualifying and watching the race. There was also like a little concert as well. Pixie Lott was the act on the Saturday, and it was a good race, pretty eventful. I'll pop in some pictures at the end just so you can see. But that was the main thing that I have been doing the last few weekends. After that have just been not doing very much and being very warm. And then I was also away visiting my parents as well. So all right, I think I have waffled on enough. And I have got to now go and throw some lunch down me, not figuratively, like as in eat some pretty quickly, and then get back started working. But thank you for spending time with me for a Fridaysews catch up. I hope everyone has had a productive few weeks when it comes to their own sewing and creativity. Obviously, I would love it if you would consider giving me a like and subscribing to the channel to help share it amongst the sewing community. I feel like I've hit a kind of plateau in terms of like subscribers and stuff. So I don't know whether that's me or whether it's the algorithm. Who knows? It feels like a law unto itself. But any support greatly appreciated in terms of helping to get the channel a bit more out there. And I do also have an Instagram account where you can see more photos of my finished makes, which I will pop the handle along here and also in this description box. So feel free to join me over there as well. But Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon for another video. Bye.